The atmosphere on The View was buzzing even before the cameras rolled. The day's guest, Matt Damon, had been booked weeks in advance to promote his latest film, a gritty political thriller with undertones eerily reflective of current American discourse. The anticipation wasn't just about the movie, though. Damon had made headlines recently after a controversial podcast appearance in which he commented on cancel culture, media accountability, and the complexities of free speech. With Joy Behar at the table, everyone knew sparks could fly. Asterisk, as the live broadcast began, Damon entered to warm applause. He looked casual but confident in a charcoal blazer over a white t-shirt. He gave hugs to Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin and offered a handshake to Alyssa Farah Griffin. When he turned to Joy, the exchange was noticeably cooler, a polite nod and a quick smile. Joy, perched with her trademark fiery posture, nodded back. Asterisk, the first few minutes were cordial. Damon spoke about the challenges of filming during the pandemic, how the script had changed post-2020, and the personal passion he felt for the story. He talked about the humanitarian work he was continuing with his Water.org initiative, and the audience responded positively. It felt like any other high-profile guest appearance until Joy shifted the tone. Asterisk, so Matt, she said, cutting into a lighthearted exchange between Whoopi and Damon. You've been pretty vocal about your discomfort with what people call cancel culture. You've said it's scary and can destroy careers over one mistake. But isn't that a little tone-deaf? Especially when you consider how many people have been marginalized or silenced for decades without anyone standing up for them. Asterisk, there was a flicker in Damon's eyes. Not irritation exactly, but recognition. He knew where this was going. Asterisk, I don't think it's tone-deaf to ask for some perspective, he replied cautiously. I'm not defending people who do real harm. I just think there's a difference between holding someone accountable and erasing them entirely, especially when intent, growth, and context are ignored. Asterisk, Joy leaned forward, voice steady but sharp. But who decides what real harm is, Matt? Isn't it usually the people in power, the ones with platforms and money, like yourself? And when regular people call it out, suddenly it's called a mob. Asterisk, the audience let out a collective "oh," sensing the tension climbing. Sunny Hostin tried to interject with a legal perspective, but Damon stayed locked on Joy. Asterisk. I get your point, he said a little more firmly, but it feels like we're losing the ability to forgive or have difficult conversations. Everyone's so quick to pile on. If someone genuinely tries to make amends or clarify something, it's like that doesn't even matter. Asterisk, Joy's smile was thin, almost amused. That sounds a lot like privilege talking, Matt. When women or minorities speak up, they're labeled emotional or difficult. When white men mess up, they get redemption arcs. Asterisk, Matt's jaw visibly tightened. That's not fair. I've acknowledged when I've said the wrong thing. I've learned from it, and I've put my money and voice behind important causes. But this idea that I'm not allowed to even speak without being attacked for who I am, that's the kind of silencing I'm talking about. Asterisk, Whoopi, sensing the temperature rising too quickly, raised her hands. Okay, let's all take a breath. We don't want this to turn into a shouting match, asterisk, but Joy wasn't backing down. You came here knowing what The View is. This isn't a press junket. We ask questions, tough ones. Asterisk, and I'm answering, Matt replied, voice now clipped. But I didn't sign up to be accused of being part of some grand oppression just because I asked for compassion. Asterisk, the studio had gone quiet. The usual chatter, even laughter from the audience was gone. You could hear a pin drop? Damon looked visibly frustrated, his shoulders stiff, eyes narrowing slightly as he realized the moment was spiraling. Asterisk, a floor manager stepped in discreetly, whispering in Whoopi's ear. Without hesitation, she turned to the camera. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. Asterisk, as the screen faded to commercials, whispers filled the studio. Damon stood from his chair, removed his mic, and walked off stage with firm, quick steps past stunned producers and down the hall, not waiting for the next segment. Asterisk, when The View returned, Matt Damon's seat was empty, and the silence spoke, louder than any words could. Asterisk, the aftermath of Matt Damon's unexpected walk-off from The View played out like a cultural earthquake across media platforms. Within minutes of the broadcast's return from commercial break, Damon's absence became the #1 trending topic on X, formerly Twitter, with hashtags like #MattVsJoy, #TheViewMeltdown, and hashtag Damon walks off flooding news outlets. Scrambled for quotes. Fans and critics alike rushed to post their takes, and social media turned the moment into a full-blown viral firestorm. Asterisk clips of the confrontation were everywhere cut, captioned, remixed. One TikTok clip of Joy Behar saying, "This isn't a press junket." Over a dramatic soundbite racked up over 3 million views in under an hour. Another popular edit zoomed in on Damon's visibly clenched jaw as Joy accused him of speaking from a place of privilege. The internet did what it does best. Dissected every frame, every word, every micro-expression. Asterisk backstage sources from The View leaked conflicting details about what had gone down during the commercial break. One anonymous staffer claimed Matt stood up, took his mic off, and said something like, "I'm not going to be a target for your agenda," and walked straight out the studio door. He didn't even wait for the segment to end. Another insider painted a more measured picture. He wasn't yelling, but he was clearly done. He said, "I came here in good faith," and left. Asterisk, Joy Behar, for her part, appeared completely unfazed when the show resumed. The panel didn't immediately address Damon's absence, continuing the next segment as though nothing had happened. But viewers knew better and demanded answers. The official The View Instagram account posted a neutral-toned photo from the episode, prompting tens of thousands of heated comments within minutes. The top-voted comment read, "Did Matt Damon just get cancelled by Joy Behar in real time?" Asterisk, by that evening, Damon released a carefully worded statement through his publicist. Asterisk, while I respect The View and its audience, I did not expect to be drawn into a combative exchange that detracted from the purpose of my appearance. I came to talk about a film that deals with complex issues and to raise awareness for causes I believe in deeply. I'm always open to discussion, even disagreement. But I draw the line at being vilified for simply offering a different point of view. Asterisk, the statement did little to cool the fire. Joy Behar responded indirectly the next morning during The View's opening segment. Asterisk, we've had a lot of passionate guests over the years, she said, adjusting her glasses. Some handle heat better than others. This is The View, not a vanity parade. If you're coming here just to sell something, you're in the wrong studio. The studio audience erupted in applause. Behind the scenes, the show's producers were reportedly divided. Some worried the incident might deter future high-profile guests from appearing. Others believed the buzz was exactly what the show needed. Ratings from the Damon episode were the highest the show had seen in months, and the controversy generated millions of impressions online. Asterisk, but beyond the entertainment headlines, the incident sparked a larger national conversation. Pundits debated the interaction on cable news. Conservative commentators praised Damon for standing up against the mob, while progressive voices accused him of center-stage fragility. Late-night hosts had a field day, with Jimmy Fallon quipping, "Matt Damon walked off The View faster than Ben Affleck walks away from paparazzi." Asterisk, the blowback wasn't just digital. Damon's publicist reportedly fielded dozens of interview requests, while his upcoming film studio scrambled to assess whether the incident would help or hurt the movie's box office. Ironically, the attention seemed to help. Online ticket pre-sales surged, and discussions around the film's themes, free speech, political division, and media narratives found a much wider audience than the studio had originally hoped for. Asterisk, meanwhile, Behar also faced pushback, particularly from those who felt her questioning crossed a line from accountability into antagonism. Critics pointed out that she interrupted Damon repeatedly and framed her questions in ways that left little room for nuance. Supporters, however, argued she was simply doing her job, holding a powerful voice to account. Asterisk. The divide became symbolic of something much deeper. It wasn't just Damon versus Behar, it was a collision of two worldviews live on national television. One rooted in the discomfort of evolving conversations about power and privilege. The other in the desire for open, forgiving dialogue without fear of social punishment. Asterisk, in the weeks that followed, Damon appeared on The Tonight Show and addressed the fallout. "I probably should have stayed and finished the conversation," he admitted, "but in the moment, it felt like I wasn't being heard. And that's frustrating for anyone, famous or not." Asterisk, Joy, meanwhile, refused to revisit the topic directly again, ending the saga with a cryptic line during one episode, "We move on. Those who can't handle the heat, they don't belong in the kitchen." Asterisk, and just like that, the moment passed, but the conversation lingered. The incident became a cultural reference point, a modern media parable about outrage, ego, truth, and the shrinking middle ground where real dialogue can survive.